New nerfs just got announced, and we should be seeing Hearthstone getting a little bit of change in a couple of days from now. In this video we will go over all of the nerfed cards that got teased. We don't know exactly what the nerfs are gonna be, but we know the cards, so we can do some pretty good educated guesses. And we're also gonna check out the 2 cards that are getting buffed and speculate what we could be seeing there. So if you're serious about Hearthstone, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget you can have me for some Hearthstone coaching. Now let's check out the cards.
You are not prepared!
Here's the patch teaser, and we can see there's gonna be 8 nerfs in total and a couple of buffs, and Pally is definitely getting slapped the hardest here, but we also see a couple of nerfs to Warrior, 1 nerf to Shaman, 1 nerf to Hunter, and the buffs are gonna be to Mage and Druid, and we also get a nerf on one of Zilliax's forms. Starting off with the Hunter nerf, we're seeing Awakened Tremors is gonna be getting clapped, and honestly I think this is just gonna go down to 3/1 worms, cause if you bump this to 2 mana, feels like it's just gonna stop seeing too much of play. It's definitely a very OP card as it stands, like getting free 1 mana premium 2 drops basically. I mean, they're not premium 2 drops, but they're basically like the Ragers, and those cost 3 mana. But yeah, going down to 3/1s, I think it should be still seeing decent amount of play. It's not gonna be as problematic with the Watcher of Myths. And also, it's just not going to be dealing as much damage as early, which was kind of a big deal. Moving down to the Pallies, and Tiger Plushie is definitely one of the best cards of the expansion for the Pally class. It's just doing way too much. Like, it's basically a Zilliax without the mech tag, instead it has a beast, and it also doesn't have Magnetize, but it's just a killer card, especially with the auras and all of that shit. It's just way too good, way too cheap, way too sticky, and it gives you another 1/1 mini of itself, so it's just too much sitting the way it is. I do believe it's just gonna go up to 4 mana. I don't think they're gonna be touching it down to make it a 2/2. That's really not gonna change all that much. But slowing it down a turn, that should be taking it down a notch. Because the nerf's really not even impacting the mini, because I'm pretty sure they're not going to be touching the keywords here, like Rush, Lifesteal, and Divine Shield are going to remain. But yeah, I think sitting at 4 mana should do the trick for now. And this is also somewhat of a nerf to Hunter, because they could get this premium beast out of the saddle up, which definitely helped them a lot. We can also see Deputization Aura is going to be getting slapped, and here it's either going up to 4 mana, or it's going to be losing 1 attack. My bet would be it's losing 1 attack, because we are seeing several different nerfs to Pally, and I don't think they're gonna go too hard on either of the cards, but honestly they could, and the Pally class I still believe will be surviving. Seriously, like right now we have so many different iterations of Paladins that are all above 65% and well over it. Like there's literally a 70% win rate lists out there. The Flood Pally is absolutely amazing, but one thing they have in common is they're all running the Tigris plushie, so that is definitely gonna take it down a little. But yeah, Deputization Aura I feel like is going down to 2 mana. It's still gonna be insanely OP, because you still, if you have several minions on the board, you can still basically heal back to full with the help of it, giving lifesteal to all of those small idiots. So yeah, I don't believe that people are going to be stopping running Deputization Aura if they're already running it in their decks. And the third card getting nerfed for Pally would be Shroomscavate, which honestly I feel like it should have gotten nerfed on the last batch of nerfs for Pally on last expansion. Shroomscavate, literally for the first few days I didn't even realize it's giving Excavate, guys. It's so fucking strong. Like Wind Fury and Divine Shield, like that alone is crazy good, and it also excavated. I'm assuming it's still gonna have all those aspects, and I don't believe bumping this up to 4 mana will do the trick for it. Even though they could go that route, obviously, but I did see an interesting proposition a few days ago that Shroomscavate might not allow the minion that gets this to attack face on the turn you play this. Like, that kind of makes sense, you know, like, it's kind of a little bit too strong going face from hand like that. Like, right now, if you have a Deputization Aura or a Crusader's Aura, that's basically, with Leroy, that's literally 18 damage from hand out of nowhere like that. It's kind of too much. But, I guess if they bump it up to 4 mana, it's gonna be a little bit harder to pull that crap off. I don't know. Maybe bumping it to 4 mana should be fine, but still, it is definitely a very OP card, and it's gonna continue to be such, I do believe, but we will see how they go about it. Next up we have Thrall's Gift, and honestly, I'm very happy that the dev team are on top of things this time. I was gonna be very scared if they actually left Nature Shaman untouched. Right now, this deck is, according to the stats, nothing to write home about, but it's actually extremely powerful in skilled hands, and you definitely see a lot lot of this in top legend and literally die to it as soon as turn 4, as long as the opponent gets their cards, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. Like, nothing you can do. They have 30 damage from hand easy. As soon as turn 5, it's just too good, draws too much, and gets too much cheap damage. And here, we're talking about the gift cards, so they're really not going to be touching the mana. They're not going to be touching the number of spells or anything like that. I do believe they might actually change the spells in here, though. Like, Hex and Bloodlust are fine, but Lightning Bolt is the real culprit here, and they might just change it to something else. Like, I'm not sure what spell they can change it to, but it's definitely gonna be the easiest change to the card that's gonna make it less toxic. Like, finding lethal like this over and over again is just way too brutal. And yeah, Lightning Bolt is gonna be going. Instead, we're gonna be seeing some other cheap spell, I do believe, because all of the other gifts do have a 1, 3, and a 5, or at least a cheap, mid, and expensive spell kind of deal. So I would assume another 1-drop spell could be included here instead. Maybe the 1-mana Silence. That could be actually pretty powerful, but at least it's not going to be killing the opponent as much. So there's that too. Next up, we have the Warrior nerfs, and Aftershock is definitely one of the most powerful cards for Warrior right about now. It's just way too good. It deals 1 damage 3 times in a row, and it triggers Death Rattles in the meantime. So that's hella strong for sticky boards. It has been pretty nice for Warriors to be using this against cheap saddle up boards for Hunters and whatnot. It deals very well with most Paladin Divine Shield minions, Death Rattle minions, all of that nonsense. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit too good, and right now Odin Warrior is a little bit too good. This getting touched is gonna help maybe some other Warrior shenanigans to emerge. I was excited for some bot face action with Warrior, the Dr. Boom and whatnot, but seeing that Odin Warrior is still the best Warrior deck, I guess the dev team wants things to get shaken up a little. Get it? Aftershock. But yeah, Aftershock, maybe it's just going up to 5 mana in general, or maybe it's gonna discount only by 1 if you've cast a spell last turn, but I don't know. I think going up to 5 mana should be somewhat better. I don't think they're gonna be touching up on the number of times this deals 1 damage, because if it only deals damage twice, that's like the worst Blade Storm for 4 mana, with a condition to go down to 2 mana, so I don't think that's gonna be it. So yeah, bumping this to 5 mana might be the way to go, especially since the nerf is comboed off with the Odin nerf as well. And here again, I do believe it's going up to 9 mana maybe. I don't think they need to be touching it too hard right now. Like Warrior, yeah, it's strong. I wouldn't say it's extremely strong though. Like usually when I face Warrior, I know what to expect, I know what to do, and yeah, if they have all the removal, so be it. But if they don't, it's usually not the most impossible thing in the world to snowball a lead against them. But yeah, Odin, it's gonna be 9 mana. Like, what else would it be? I don't think they're gonna go super hard on it like they did with things like Jailer and whatnot. I don't think they're gonna change it into only gain attack the first time you gain armor. Like, that would be a little bit too much. So yeah, my money would be on 9 mana here. And the last nerf here would be the Zilliax module. And as you guys noticed, it's actually the green module. And if you check out what's green, it's the cost 1 less for each minion in play. And yeah, this thing has been absolutely brutal in things like Hunter, Paladin, Demon Hunter. Basically everybody that builds a board wants to be slapping this module in, and it has been proving quite the powerful thing. 2 lines can be approached here. It can either go up to, let's say, 6 mana, or we could see this only working for your own minions. So if it goes for only your minions, I'd assume it's gonna drop down in mana like 1 or 2 slots, even though that might actually be kind of a buff, because you usually run this in a deck that you want to be tokeny with. So I think it's gonna be with the opponent's stuff, but it's gonna go up to 6 mana maybe. I think that would be a healthy breakpoint. They might go mild on it going to 5, but with a card like Zilliax, I think they're gonna shoot to be accurate from the first bat, because if they keep nerfing this card, like, who's gonna need to buy packs anymore if you keep on giving us refund for Zilliax over and over again? Yeah, so that's my guess here. It's gonna go up to 6 mana. So that's it for the nerfs. The nerf to Zilliax is gonna be impacting mainly Hunters, Pallies, and Demon Hunters, I'd say. So yeah, in total, Hunter is getting 3 nerfs. Like, not getting this is kind of a nerf. This getting nerfed is also a nerf to Hunter, pretty much. Pally is also getting quite slapped, and yeah, Hunter and Warrior, we saw all of those. Now let's move down to the buffs, starting off with the Frostlich Jaina Cross Stitch. 5 mana, deal 4 damage to a character. If it dies, summon a 3/6 water elemental. This can either go down to 4 mana, or it can start dealing like, I don't know, 6 damage? Is it gonna see play if it deals 6 damage? I don't know, I think 4 mana, 4 damage sounds reasonable. They could even go more accurately with the Frostlich action and actually give the elemental lifesteal, because that's kind of weird it doesn't have it. So I think this is a time where they could address this wrong they did this card. So yeah, I'm gonna be bold here and guess that they're gonna drop it down to 4 mana, but they're also gonna give it lifesteal. Let's see if I turn out right on that one. And the last buff here is gonna be to the Druid card Sky Mother of Yana. I have this in signature, by the way, nerf when Blizzard. But this one is a 6 mana 5/5. Shuffle 10 random legendary minions into your deck. They cost 1, and they're probably gonna drop it down to 5 mana. Like, what else are they gonna do? That might make for some interesting decks out of Druid. They do have a good amount of card draw and whatnot, so it's not gonna be super hard for them to fish out this minion as well. Might be an interesting meme deck, I'd like to say, to try out after it gets buffed. I really hope it doesn't actually become super meta, because that would be a random BS all over again kind of deal. But yeah, that would be my guess here. All around, I do believe Pally is still gonna remain pretty much the strongest, or at least one of the strongest classes after nerfs even. I'm definitely happy to see Shaman getting slapped. Hunter is also supposed to remain pretty strong afterwards. Warrior is gonna get toned down a bit. Maybe people are gonna start experimenting a little bit more. And the decks that didn't get touched, like Aggro Demon Hunter, Wheel Warlock, those would definitely be hella strong after the nerfs, so be on the lookout for those. As for the buffs, I don't think those two would be enough to really change all that much, but let's see what the actual things are gonna be on Thursday and take it from there. Do let me know in the comments what you guys think are gonna be the nerfs. Do you think I missed something? Do you think there's a better way to do things? All of that stuff. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope this helps you figure out what you want to be playing once the patch goes live on Thursday, most probably. And if you enjoyed the content, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget you can hire me for some Hearthstone coaching. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.